you are just as likely to find a really good art teacher outside of a college as in a college. Something I want to remind you guys about when you are looking for teachers. We have a tendency, like, I don't know if other areas are like this, but in the US, we push way too hard on kids. You have to go to college. You do not have to go to college to be successful for many, many careers. It depends on what you want to go into. Trade schools are a great option. Why am I ranting about this? Lady was posting locally that she was offering classes for anywhere from beginner through very advanced. And her work, I looked at it, I was like, kind of odd that you would post that you were advanced. And then she lists out all of her credentials. Her work, honestly, she's going for realism. She's not good at it. Why am I picking on somebody? Because I normally don't do that. Because she was a teacher at the, San Antonio Art Institute. Here's one of your college professors. Can't paint, can't draw, trying for realism. Terrible at it. And I'm not talking about someone who's going for stylized look. This is somebody who wanted realism. So if you, I'm assuming if you watch me, you like realism because that's what I do. Going to college, people think that they're going to go to college and their artwork is going to get better. That is not usually what happens. Usually what happens is they try to get you to paint like whatever they paint like. I'm sorry, I don't want to start looking. No. And this is so common. A lot of these teachers who teach in these colleges are not very good artists themselves. There are some. The reason that I'm bringing this up is you are just as likely to find a really good art teacher outside of a college as in a college. I would say oftentimes more likely, because most of the really, really successful, really good artists, they're self-taught. Those who are doing realism, most of them that I know are self-taught. There are some exceptions. But the point is, we have in our head, you got to go to college if you want to be good at art. No, you don't. And in many, 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 many cases, I've known of artists that went to college and their teachers forced them to paint in a style they didn't like. And their work suffered because of it. It basically held them back from progressing in the realism that they were interested in. Now, there are also plenty of stories, to be fair, of people who loved college, loved their teachers, had amazing teachers. They're there. They are out there. But going into debt, hundreds of thousands of dollars to get a degree on a piece of paper, if you're going into studio art, that degree, and people are like, oh, but you get contacts. You can make contacts outside of college. They don't do as much for you as you think they're going to. The promises that are made to art students or students in general when they go into college for, getting a degree in English. I mean, if you're going to be a teacher, yeah, if you want to teach in, public school and different things, you would need that degree. So there is a time for college, but for fine art, I really think it's overall, you are so much better off finding a teacher outside of the college. I cannot tell you how many times I have had students tell me that within a couple of days, like 2-3 classes with me, they learned more than in 4 years of art college. That I hear it all the time when I used to teach in person. I mean, I heard it all the time. We think I'm gonna go to college and I'm gonna learn to paint better. My art's gonna get better. No, that's not what's generally happening in college. There are exceptions, but they're exceptions. They're not the rule. The rule tends to be more not so great. The other thing is I don't want you to feel like I can't afford college, therefore I'm not going to be as successful. No, it's probably the reverse. You're probably going to be better off. You can find classes that are a lot, like from teachers that are local to you. You can find people, if you're willing to put in the work, you can find people that can teach you better in many cases than what you would learn in college. So just don't be discouraged thinking, I can't afford to go to college or I don't want to put the money into it. The other thing is I hate seeing students go into college, go into massive amounts of debt, and they're going to start their art career that way. Most artists that got a degree in art working at Macy's, a job that you don't need a degree for. They're in debt and they're not using that degree. And it is so painfully common these days. I hate what our college system has turned into. I think that there was a time, there were some good things about it. And, if you're going for the college experience, great, but do you really need to go into debt for the college experience? What are you actually getting out of that? What are they actually teaching you that you can't learn from books, that you can't learn from videos, that you can't learn from a local teacher? And there are a lot of local teachers teaching classes. Now, the other thing, so I brought up this woman that I was talking about that was teaching in some college in San Antonio. Her work is terrible. I promise you, she cannot teach you what half the artists on YouTube can teach you. She can't paint. If she can't paint, if she can't draw, how the heck is she going to improve your work? She's not. The only benefit you really have is her giving you a deadline on getting stuff done. And that is something that some artists do suffer from, not getting stuff done. You do, in order to do it on your own, you do have to have self-discipline. You have to give yourself deadlines. And a lot of artists don't want that. I want to be free. I want to paint when I'm in the mood. Yeah, no, that's not going to be, you're not going to be a professional artist. You're going to be working at Macy's along with the artist with the art degree. Only you're not in debt for it. So there's that. Don't fall into the idea that is so pushed on people that I want to be an artist, I have to go to college. No, you don't. You absolutely do not. Very, very few professional artists I know went to college for art. Most of us taught ourselves.